It was a beautiful morning, the birds tweeting, bells ringing, and my phone buzzing from an email notification. Enthralled with the news, I ran to my computer to fuck. I got into the finals beta test! The Finals is a beautiful, objective-based movement shooter stylized in a video game world where you, the player, are competing in a video game tournament for money. This video has gameplay of each of the three classes in order of how much I actually enjoyed playing them. I'm going to commentate over what I can, explaining the good and the bad, and hopefully you guys come out with a better understanding of the game and whether you should pick it up or not. But guys, before this video begins, only 4% of you are subscribed to the channel, so grab a hook into that subscribe button and smash the fuck out of it. Let's get it. I'm just going to address it now so I don't have to address for the rest of the video. Yes, this game is very, very pretty, and this is on pretty much the lowest settings because my computer couldn't really run the game, which is something the devs need to be paying attention to. If this game isn't optimized, this game can't run even on mid-end system, especially in the competitive market they're aiming this towards. The game is undoubtedly not going to do well. But that's not to take anything away from the beautiful art style of this game. It mixes realism and cartoonish landscapes in a way that other games fail to do nowadays. On top of that, the maps are designed incredibly well. There was not a moment when I was playing this game where I found myself lost, and that's even without a minimap. The map you're seeing on screen right now is Seoul in daytime. All of these maps have different weather variables that change the way that they're played. There's a version of Seoul that plays in fog, and it makes it significantly harder for you to view the enemy, thus changing the gameplay in a way that other games haven't really tried to, at least in the competitive genre. And all of this is encapsulated by the game mode played in the current closed beta called Cash Out. You spawn with 2 locations that players fight over to get your first cash out box. You then run to one of the 3 cash out machines on the map, insert the cash out box, and players will fight for space and position around it to see who can get their hands on the cash out box at the last possible second to score points. The team with the most points wins the match. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the movement and how it feels clunky in the finals, but I have to say personally that among all of the other bugs this game has, the movement problems were the least of my worries, and in fact I found them adding to the game. I like the way that the grapple hook is loose and allows for this crazed but still controllable movement. It's a breath of fresh air. Now that I've gotten all of the actual game's mechanics out of the way, we can talk about the light class.
That gun sucks, by the way.
And dude, this class is fun to play. Its movement is increased in comparison to both medium and heavy, and its movement options and customizability are pretty crazy. In fact, actually, the entire game's customizability is pretty crazy. If you want to see more, there's a section at the end of the video that explains everything to do with that. I've chosen a grapple hook and a thermal sight, but there are many other options such as invisibility, although it faces a glaring issue in the balance of its weapons. The starting Mach 10's time to kill is higher than the Burj Khalifa, especially for a class that only has 150 HP, but the light class's sniper rifle is basically a one-shot. My guess is that the Mach 10 was broken in earlier testing, so the devs decided to lower the damage, but it's made it very painful to play with, when you consider that the default weapons time to kill on both heavy and medium is about the same as the Mach 10. Another huge issue I found while playing the light class for the very first time was that the thermal sight is completely bugged. And you're going to see it in the gameplay right now. I'm pretty sure they coded it to just light up anything that has heat on it, which doesn't really work for gameplay. I say that, but I did still have fun playing with it, so it's not all that bad. Overall, the way that they made the character so nimble and so free with the movement system still leads me to believe that despite all of these issues, it was the most fun class for me to play in the game. It wasn't the most consistent, but it gave me the most joy, so, you know. Holy shit, we're cracked. Did I kill him? Or are we gonna cash out? Holy. Give me that cash out. It's me against the fucking world. Both my teammates are dead.
wires, we'll need to come back from that wipeout.
Holy!
What I call an
I'm
alternating
fucking
current.
destroying! Give me my cash out, bro!
The Kingfish have grabbed the advantage.
Yo, calm down, man. Holy shit. So we lost? Fuck, man. My cash out. I was playing that so well. Shit, there's a guy on the fucking roof.
That's what I need to abuse the movement more. That's what I'm not doing right here.
Now that you've gotten a chance to hear it, I'd just like to point out that the sound design in this game is absolutely fantastic. I'm sure you guys probably remember the old Quake announcers. I wish that modern games utilized those more because that was the coolest shit ever, man. Although one thing that has been annoying me is the ping sound is the same as the orb collection sound from Valorant. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I've had a good laugh over it. Playing a game and someone just kept spamming it and I was losing my fucking shit. So the medium class is, in my opinion, the strongest out of the three classes, and this is by far. It features mostly boots on the ground gameplay. It's more similar to your kind of Call of Duty or I'd say Battlefield style of shooting. But after getting the chance to try an actual rifle in the game's engine instead of the shitty little Mac-10 ripoff, I've found out that the hit registration in this game just doesn't work half the time. You're going to be watching these clips and wondering, where are those bullets going? Because there's no recoil, there's no spray patterns, and you can move while shooting. So unless there's some kind of movement and accuracy that I don't know about, they really need to get on fixing that hit registration. I could also just be missing, but I wouldn't admit that here. So the medium class is a good middle ground between having enough HP to survive long bursty gunfights and having enough damage to actually kill people before you die. Unlike the light class, it also incorporates a lot of the game's more creative features, which is probably what you guys know the game for. In the setup I'm running on screen right now, I have a turret that you can place on walls and have it shooting sideways. That's pretty insane. I don't think I've seen that done before in a video game. As you will have just seen as well, this class still has movement. The same as the light class, you can spring yourself like 1,000 billion quadrillion meters up into the air. So we should think of this as a jack of all trades. Overall, this character was fun, but mostly because it just felt like I was stronger than everyone else in the lobby. That's not really a good thing for competitive balancing, but at the same time, the more I play this game, the more I think that the devs should probably just stick to a more casual approach anyway.
It's time to see what events will try to knock out contestants off their game. It's chaos time. We've cranked up the damage that contestants will experience in the arena.
Having a lot of trouble doing that, what the fuck?
Impressive steam by the Boundless.
What the fuck? Okay, so the heavy class is probably what most of you are here for. This game brings back destruction, and it brings it back in a real way. Now, personally, I'm not too big of a fan of destruction elements in video games. I didn't really grow up in that era, and even more so because my computer can't really run the game when there's rubble all over the place. So I'm probably not the best person to give my opinion on this. But the Heavy's Q ability that lets you run through walls and destroy buildings, it reminds me a lot of Oryx from Rainbow Six Siege. It also does damage, and it is very fun to play with. I'm not sure how much use it has. I mean, you can't really control how much of a building you break. It just kind of runs you through the wall and then everything starts falling down. But if you're one of those guys that sits in Gmod sandboxes and just like attaches propellers to boxes and then blows them up or something like that, you're probably going to love this class. When I was playing heavy, I started to notice the input lag more. I didn't really notice it for a while because I was having to record and play the game at the same time. So I just thought it was my OBS causing some input lag or something like that. But it turns out that all of the inputs in the game are delayed by quite a bit. And when you're moving as the heavy, you're so much slower than everyone else that you start to notice it more. Despite that though, the actual destruction gimmick is done quite well. Buildings kind of crack and then fall on top of each other almost realistically. And as I've mentioned before, there are kind of gameplay elements to this where the rubble does make it harder to fight. And I'm sure there's going to be some heavy one trick that finds out a way to utilize that destruction to their advantage. I've never seen a game do destruction this well. Definitely not in a closed beta either. And it does make sense. All of the game's dev are ex-DICE, which means they worked on the Battlefield games. And although I haven't played them, I do know that those older Battlefield games had a lot of destruction. Another thing that this class brought to light to me was the fact that visual clarity in this game isn't good whatsoever. The reason I noticed it specifically on the heavy was because all of the destruction is caused by me, and so I could have it at the palms of my fingertips, which meant I was getting into scenarios where there was rubble and fire blocking my POV quite frequently. This is something that the devs are going to have to fix before release, or even before the next beta, because quite frankly, it's the most enjoyable part of the game. When 1700 million things go on at the same time, and you can't see anything. This on top of the map effects like fog, just make the game unplayable in some scenarios. That being said, I don't have anything else in particular to dislike about the class as a whole. So if you guys want to skip this gameplay, there's timestamps in the description below. If not, enjoy.
Time to see what events will try to knock our contestants off their game. Make the wrong move and you'll see what I mean. If you get eliminated, he'll be going out with a bang.
Kingfish are initiating a cash out.
So I am here in the menu to talk about customization, and this game has a lot of it. And honestly, I probably should have put this at the start of the video because not many people are going to see this, but this is the main selling point of this game. In the closed beta, as you can see, we've gotten 1,500 credits just for being in the beta, I guess. And there's already a lot of stuff that we can buy. And these costumes apply for every single class, light, medium, and heavy. So you can put this. It shows it on a light character. You can put it on a heavy character if you want to. There's emotes, individual masks, gun skins, pretty much everything that you could think of that there would be a skin for. There is one in this game with the exception of like grenades. So I'm going to go ahead right now. I'm going to buy the Draco Star Kit or the bundle. The entire bundle, which is kind of crazy because I think it looks sick as fuck. But that's not even the best customization. It's all with the characters themselves. So as you've seen from the gameplay, this game leans very much on being able to change what you want to play with. You can see how many items there are, how many abilities there are, how many grenades, stuff like that there are, and you can choose each of these individually for any build of any of the classes. And there's no limit on what you can play with what. It's pretty much just whatever goes. Of course, the builds for different characters aren't shared. Every character has their own set of weapons that they're able to use or abilities. But this customization, I think, is what sells the game because there's just so many different builds. And on top of that, of course, as I've showed you before, there is the ability to change your costumes, individually change all of this. You can change your body type, your face, your hair, whatever you want, and your poses and emotes too. As I mentioned earlier, the creativity in this game, it's going to carry it if it is going to succeed. And honestly, it's what this game's all about, really. Overall, this beta test is very fun to play. I'm probably going to come back to the game after it fully releases, and hopefully in that period of time, a lot of the bugs and problems that I've had during the closed beta will be fixed. I know the devs have been very communicative, so hopefully this game doesn't fall flat like Hyperscape did. That being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, you have any opinions of your own to share, please leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bro fist!